Kelti and the chocolate bar. One morning, Kelti woke up feeling very miserable. She didn't know why she felt like this, she just did. Laying in bed, she felt nothing would make her happy again. She didn't want to see or talk to anyone except Dougie. Getting out of bed, she went over to her bedroom window and peered out through the gap in the curtains. It was raining outside and looked very cold. Great, thought Kelti, something else to make me feel miserable. Taking an old pair of jeans out of her wardrobe, she started to get dressed. Looking around for her favourite jumper, it was nowhere to be seen, which made her feel even more miserable. Pulling an old purple jumper over her head, she finished getting dressed and went to find Dougie. Going into the kitchen, Kelti saw her mummy feeding baby brother Louis and her daddy making breakfast. Ignoring them all, she went to the back door to find Dougie. "Good morning, sweetheart," said Mummy. Kelti said nothing. "Good morning, honey," said Daddy. Still Kelti said nothing. "Are you okay, Kelti?" Mummy asked gently. "No, I'm not," replied Kelti rather crossly. "I feel miserable, and I don't know why. I'm going to take Dougie for a walk before school." "Well, here," said her mummy, "take a banana to eat on the way, as you haven't had breakfast yet. And put your raincoat on. It's not raining too hard, but you need to stay dry." Kelti put her raincoat on and reluctantly pulled the hood over her head. "Don't be too long, as we need to leave for school soon." She heard her mummy say, and she grabbed the banana and ran out of the garden with Dougie. "Come on, Dougie," she said. "Let's go into the forest. The trees may shelter us from the rain." As they walked further into the forest, Kelti was able to take the hood off her head. The trees were doing a great job of stopping the rain falling on her, and this made her feel a little happier. Eventually, Kelti could see the big oak tree in front of her, but there was somebody else there already. Sitting on a wooden bench up against the big oak tree was an old lady. She had silver hair tied neatly in a bun on the top of her head and wore a long purple dress which was covered in sparkles. She wore small round glasses and had the most welcoming smile which made Kelti feel happy inside. On the bench next to the old lady was a very large bag which looked as if it was made out of an old carpet, and it was covered in buttons of different colours and sizes. Kelti walked up to the old lady and said hello. "Hello, my dear," the old lady replied. "My name is Doris." "My name is Kelti, and this is my best friend Dougie," Kelti answered, pointing to Dougie, who was busy sniffing around Doris's feet. "Are you having a good morning, my dear?" Doris asked. "Not really," replied Kelti rather sadly. "I woke up this morning feeling very miserable, and I don't know why." "Oh, that's sad," said Doris. "Life should be fun, especially for a pretty girl like you." "Well, a couple of things have already made me feel a little happier," Kelti said. "As I walked through the forest, the trees sheltered me from the rain, and your smile made me smile too. But I still feel a little bit miserable." "Come and sit beside me, my dear," Doris said as she patted the seat next to her. "Let me try and find a way to cheer you up." Kelti sat down next to Doris, eager to find a way to stop this miserable feeling. "Now," said Doris gently, "close your eyes." Kelti did as requested, feeling quite intrigued by this kind old lady. "Now, I want you to think of something that makes you feel happy," Doris instructed. "Keep your eyes tightly shut and think of this thing until you feel so happy inside that all you want to do is smile." Kelti tried to think of all the things that made her feel happy, but nothing came to mind. She still felt miserable. Opening her eyes, she said, "It's no good. I can't think of anything." "Yes, you can," said Doris, "but you have to truly want to be happy again for this to work. It's your choice. Kelti looked at Doris puzzled. It's very simple, Doris started to explain. You either choose to be miserable or you choose to be happy. At the moment, you are choosing to be miserable. Kelti nodded. Do you like feeling miserable? Not really, replied Kelti. It makes me not enjoy myself, and it makes me feel I want to go back to bed and hide under the covers all day. So, do you want to feel happy then? Doris asked. Yes, please, said Kelti. When I feel happy, I have fun adventures with Dougie, and I can't wait to see my friends at school. Okay, said Doris. Let's try again to find your happy feeling. Now go ahead and close your eyes and think of something that makes you feel happy. Kelti closed her eyes tightly and started to think. All of a sudden, a picture of her favourite chocolate bar came floating into her mind. As Kelti watched the chocolate bar in her mind's eye, she began to smile. Her smile got so big that Doris said, Okay, Kelti, you can open your eyes now. I think you've got the hang of this. Kelti opened her eyes, no longer feeling miserable, but instead feeling extremely happy. She looked at Doris with a big smile on her face and saw that Doris was holding a huge bar of Kelti's favourite chocolate in her hand. How did you know that I was going to think of chocolate? Asked Kelti as Doris handed her the bar. I just had a feeling, replied Doris with a twinkle in her eye. Now, what else makes you feel happy when you think about them? Kelti thought about this while she opened her chocolate bar and offered some to Doris. Taking a piece, Doris listened as Kelti started her happy list. I like playing with Dougie, seeing my friends, reading books, riding my bike, watching YouTube, hugging my mummy and daddy, playing with my baby brother Louis. Okay, I think you can stop now, Doris said, as Kelti's list sounded like it would go on forever. When you choose to be happy, Doris said, you feel happy with many things. But when you feel miserable, the opposite is true and things around you just seem to make you feel more miserable. Kelti listened to Doris as she munched on her chocolate bar. Always remember, that's how you are feeling is your choice. And if you ever feel miserable again, you can change that feeling immediately by doing one of those things on your happy list. Kelti smiled up at Doris as she nodded in agreement. How are you feeling now, my dear? Asked Doris. Very happy, replied Kelti, and thank you so much for my chocolate bar. That's my pleasure. I never know what may come in useful from my bag, Doris said. I always put something different in there every day. Now, shouldn't you be getting back home? School will be starting soon, and you don't want to be late. Kelti offered her last piece of chocolate to Doris. No, thank you, my dear. You enjoy it. Kelti did just that, and then, as she licked her fingers clean, she looked around for Dougie. He had been sitting by Doris's feet all the time they had been talking, and now, suddenly, he had disappeared. She stood up and called his name as she walked behind the big oak tree to see if he was there. Dougie, there you are, Kelti said to him as she found him playing with a stick he had found behind the big oak tree. Come on, we must go home now. I have to go to school. Let's say goodbye to Doris before we leave. Kelti led Dougie back around the big oak tree to where they had been sitting with Doris. To her surprise, there was nobody there. Even the wooden bench had disappeared along with the chocolate bar wrapper. Kelti looked around, but all she could find was a big purple button laying on the ground where the wooden bench had been. Kelti picked the purple button up and looking at it, she said, "Thank you, Doris, for helping me understand about my feelings. I now know how to always feel happy, and that makes me very happy." "Come on, Dougie, let's go home." And so, with Dougie by her side, Kelti ran home clutching the purple button, which, as well as being a new piece of treasure, was now also on her happy list, the list of things which helped her to smile.